Chad Sipper was your average guy. Single, waited tables at local Applebee's, like to party it up on the weekends. But one Saturday night after a party and one too many drinks, Chad Sipper got in the car to go home and was never seen again. Although this is a made-up story, it is not an uncommon occurrence. In an article by Rosenquist entitled "The Spread of Alcohol Consumption in a Large Social Network," published in 2010, it states that in 2002, 55% of all adults reported having taken one drink in the past month. 14.6% of those adults reported having problems with excessive drinking. Since there are about 300 billion people in the U.S. today, this means that 25 billion adults today deal with excessive drinking. So today, I'll first pop the cork off the problems of excessive drinking. Second, we will swagger on over and see why alcohol is so prevalent today. And lastly, I will give you some solutions to the problems of excessive drinking. What exactly are the problems? The first is underage drinking. Besides breaking the law, what's so bad about underage drinking? According to Michael Wendell in his article entitled "Transition into Underage and Problem Drinking," published in 2009, it states that in 2009, only 10% of all adults reported starting drinking at the age of 21. The other 90% started under the legal drinking age. Why is this so bad? Well, the same article also states that studies show that early start of alcohol use is associated with later problems with alcohol, including dependence and other abuse of other substances. The next issue that comes with excessive drinking is violence and physical abuse. I remember my grandma would tell me a story about how one day her father came home slobbering drunk and beat her until she started bleeding. The next day when he had woken up and had sobered up, he asked her what happened, and when he found out what happened, he began to cry and beg for forgiveness. This is a sad but true story. According to Jennifer Van Buren in her book, "Work, Home, and Conflict, Domestic Violence, a Test of Conceptual Model," published in 2009, alcohol has been reported to be the most common substance abuse problem in violent families. She also adds that males were 11 times more likely to assault their wives when under the influence than when not intoxicated. The last problem we'll look at will be drunk driving and car accidents. For those of you who don't know, just a couple of weeks ago, right here in the Coachella Valley, 2 young people lost their lives while under the influence in a car accident. According to Paul Folkmer, chairman of the board for MADD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, in 2008, 12,000 people lost their lives in car accidents while under the influence, and 500,000 were injured. So, why is this all happening? Well, let's swagger on over and see why alcohol is so prevalent today. Even though these things are happening, the abuse, the drunk driving, etc., alcohol sales are still as high as ever. Why is this? One reason is because we as consumers rely on alcohol so much in today's society, either for social reasons, dependency issues, or for just plain enjoyment. According to Tom Van Ripper in his article, "The 5 Most Expensive Addictions," published in 2009, alcohol hits #1, even over smoking, with a staggering $166 billion annually. According to the same article by Van Ripper, he states that unemployed people are more likely to consume alcohol than those who are employed, 10.4% to 8.4%. And today, with all the job losses, it's no wonder that alcohol sales are so high. Another reason for all this is because the alcohol industry and the U.S. government are making sure that alcohol stays on top. In an article by Heather Moore entitled "Alcohol Advertising," published in 2008, she states that in the U.S. alone, total expenditures for alcohol advertising measured media were $2.2 billion in 2006. The main reason the government doesn't want to limit alcohol is, of course, because of all the money they're making off of taxes of alcohol. If we were in some way to limit the amount of alcohol being sold, that would take a huge chunk of money away from the government. So what do we do about the problem of excessive drinking? The solutions are actually quite simple. Since we know we can't just stop selling alcohol, and it would be too difficult to limit it, I decided to go to a professional and get some sound advice. on how to stop the problems of alcohol and just to check it out. Jose Vezkin from Professor Hassan's speech class is a private bartender. He gave me these ideas to help prevent the negative outcomes of alcohol and how to prevent alcohol from affecting us without getting bartenders fired.
And be held legally liable.
Jose stated on November 10, 2010 in Professor Hassan's class that if we start to educate people on the negative effects of excessive drinking, then we might start to see some positive progress. Jose also stated that if people started to use the buddy system and have designated drivers when they went drinking, we would see a lot less car accidents. This last solution I will give, I feel, is the most important. It has to do with you and me. I feel that it is up to us to watch ourselves and limit the amount of alcohol we are drinking. It is a personal responsibility, says Jose, to not overdo it when it comes to drinking. Because although you may feel that getting your crunk on at weekend parties will never affect anyone, you never know when you could end up like Chad Sipper. So today, we first looked at the problems of excessive drinking. Second, we took a look at why alcohol is so prevalent today. And lastly, we looked at some of the solutions to the problem of excessive drinking. So, in conclusion, I feel that we as the citizens of the United States should watch and limit how much alcohol we are consuming. I personally feel I have learned a lot, and although I do not drink yet, I feel that after reviewing all the facts and statistics, I have a whole new outlook on drinking and alcohol. So today, as I close, I would like to leave you with this thought. Is your pleasure worth the lives of others? And even more so, is it worth your own life? So before you end up like Mr. Chad Sipper, be more mindful about how much you are drinking. Thank you.